Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm excited to take you on a journey through one of the most inspiring books in human history, the Book of Exodus. As the second book of the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament of the Christian Bible, Exodus continues the narrative that began in the book of Genesis. So, let's embark on this exploration together. Before diving into the details, let's briefly overview the structure of Exodus. It consists of 40 chapters divided into 9 key themes and events. Exodus is a central text in Judaism and Christianity, detailing significant events in the history of the Israelites, including their liberation from slavery in Egypt and the establishment of the Mosaic covenant with God. Today, we'll cover each of the 9 themes and events. The book begins by describing the increase of the Israelites' population in Egypt. Despite being descendants of Jacob, also known as Israel, who had settled in Egypt during a time of famine, the Israelites faced persecution and oppression under a new pharaoh who did not know Joseph, the influential figure from the previous generation. Fearing that the Israelites might become too numerous and powerful, the pharaoh enslaves them, subjecting them to harsh labor in building projects and agricultural work. Let's focus to the birth and early life of Moses. A Levite woman gives birth to a son and hides him for 3 months to protect him from Pharaoh's decree. When she can no longer hide him, she places him in a basket made of papyrus reeds and sets it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter discovers the baby Moses while bathing in the river and takes pity on him, and finds a Hebrew woman to nurse the child. Miraculously, Moses' own mother becomes his nurse, allowing her to care for him while he grows up in Pharaoh's household as the adopted son of Pharaoh's daughter. After being rescued by Pharaoh's daughter and raised in the royal household, Moses grows up and witnesses an Egyptian taskmaster abusing a Hebrew slave. In a fit of anger, Moses kills the taskmaster and flees to the land of Midian to escape Pharaoh's wrath. There, he rescues the daughters of Jethro, a priest of Midian, and settles down, eventually marrying one of Jethro's daughters. While tending his father-in-law's flock, Moses encounters the burning bush, a manifestation of God's presence. God speaks to Moses from the bush, instructing him to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of bondage. God reveals his divine name, I am who I am, and commissions Moses to deliver his people from slavery. Moses expresses doubts and concerns about his ability to fulfill this task, but God reassures him and promises to be with him. God provides Moses with signs and miracles to demonstrate his power, including turning Moses' staff into a snake and his hand becoming leprous. Despite his initial reluctance, Moses eventually agrees to return to Egypt and fulfill the mission entrusted to him. Moses and his brother Aaron confront Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh responds by increasing the workload of the Israelites, causing hardship and resentment among them. Despite Pharaoh's refusal to let the Israelites go, God sends a series of 10 plagues upon Egypt to compel Pharaoh to release them. These plagues include turning the Nile River into blood, infestations of frogs, gnats, flies, livestock diseases, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and the death of the firstborn sons. Each plague escalates in severity, demonstrating God's power over Egypt's gods and Pharaoh's stubbornness. The final plague, the death of the firstborn, prompts Pharaoh to finally release the Israelites. The Israelites celebrate the Passover as instructed by God, marking their doorposts with the blood of lambs to protect them from the final plague. That night, the angel of death passes over Egypt, sparing the Israelite firstborns but striking down the firstborns of the Egyptians. Pharaoh finally relents and allows the Israelites to leave Egypt. They depart in haste. Pharaoh regrets letting the Israelites go and mobilizes his army to pursue them. The Israelites find themselves trapped between the pursuing Egyptians and the Red Sea. In a miraculous intervention, God parts the waters of the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites to pass through on dry ground. The pursuing Egyptians are drowned when the sea closes over them. The Israelites, led by Moses and Miriam, sing a song of praise to God known as the Song of Moses, or the Song of the Sea. This hymn celebrates God's victory over their enemies and his faithfulness in delivering them from bondage. The Israelites begin to grumble against Moses and Aaron due to their hunger, reminiscing about the food they had in Egypt. In response, God provides them with manna, a miraculous bread-like substance, and quail for meat. God instructs the Israelites to gather manna daily, except on the Sabbath, when they are to rest. The Israelites continue their journey and arrive at Rephidim, where they again complain about the lack of water. God commands Moses to strike a rock, from which water miraculously flows to quench the people's thirst. The Israelites defeat the Amalekites in battle, with Moses holding up his staff as a symbol of God's presence and victory. The Israelites arrive at Mount Sinai, where Moses ascends the mountain to receive instructions from God. God reminds the Israelites of his faithfulness in delivering them from Egypt and calls them to be a holy nation and a kingdom of priests. The people agree to obey God's commandments. God gives the 10 Commandments to Moses, outlining fundamental moral and ethical principles for the Israelites to follow. These commandments include instructions on worshiping God alone, honoring parents, and refraining from murder, theft, adultery, false testimony, and coveting. Moses returns to the people and recounts all the words and laws of God to them. The people reaffirm their commitment to obeying God's covenant. Moses, Aaron, and 70 elders of Israel ascend the mountain and see a vision of God, reaffirming the covenant. God instructs Moses to gather offerings from the Israelites for the construction of the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary where God's presence will dwell among them. Detailed specifications are given for the Ark of the Covenant, the table for the bread of the presence, the golden lampstand, and other furnishings. Instructions are provided for constructing the tabernacle itself, including its curtains, coverings, and framework. The innermost chamber, known as the most holy place, is to contain the Ark of the Covenant. While Moses is on Mount Sinai receiving the 10 Commandments from God, the Israelites grow impatient and fearful in his absence. They pressure Aaron, Moses' brother, to make a golden calf to worship as an idol. God becomes angry, threatening to destroy the Israelites, but Moses intercedes on their behalf, pleading for God's mercy. Moses ascends Mount Sinai once more, where God renews the covenant with the Israelites, inscribing the 10 Commandments on new tablets. God reveals more of his character and laws to Moses, emphasizing mercy, forgiveness, and justice. Moses gathers the Israelites and instructs them to bring offerings for the construction of the tabernacle and its furnishings. The people respond generously, contributing materials such as gold, silver, bronze, and fine fabrics. Skilled artisans are appointed to carry out the work. The craftsmen begin constructing the tabernacle and its various components, following the detailed instructions given by God. They make the curtains, coverings, and framework of the tabernacle, as well as the Ark of the Covenant, the table for the bread of the presence, the lampstand, and the altar of incense. Once the tabernacle is completed, Moses sets it up according to God's instructions. The glory of God fills the tabernacle, indicating his presence among his people. The book of Exodus is rich with themes and interpretations that resonate through religious, cultural, and ethical perspectives. Some of the key themes and interpretations that emerge from Exodus are liberation and freedom, covenant and relationship with God, divine intervention and miracles, leadership and obedience, identity and nationhood, justice and mercy, sacred space and worship, theological interpretations. In conclusion, the book of Exodus stands as a foundational text in religious, cultural, and ethical traditions, offering profound insights into themes of liberation, covenant, leadership, justice, and divine intervention. Through its narrative of the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt, their journey through the wilderness, and the establishment of the covenant at Mount Sinai, Exodus explores the complex relationship between humanity and the divine, as well as the dynamics of community, identity, and faith. Exodus provides a powerful testament to the enduring human longing for freedom and justice, as well as the transformative power of faith and obedience in the face of adversity. The figure of Moses emerges as a central archetype of leadership, embodying qualities of courage, humility, and unwavering devotion to God's commandments. Ultimately, the book of Exodus serves as a timeless testament to the enduring power of faith, the resilience of the human spirit, and the transformative potential of divine grace. Now, I invite any questions or comments you may have. Let's delve deeper into the fascinating world of Exodus together. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the book of Exodus. Have a wonderful day, and please don't forget to give a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you can stay up to date on all my new videos about the living word. God bless you all.